evening. Good evening, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing just fine on this Monday. How
Just
about you?
fine, 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 fine. Woo! That's what
Monday.
that. That's what that made me
Yeah,
think.
that came out of nowhere, but I mean that's fine. But
It wasn't out of nowhere. You said just fine, so I started singing the song.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
Mondays are just so trash, though. I mean, shout out to Tayson. Thank you for tuning. Hey,
Hey.
Tayson, go ahead and share this, man. I ain't had time to do all that shit. I am of all people. I was last minute this time, so forgive me. But without further ado, it's Monday. Y'all know we do every other Monday. So round the way with Stacks and Nic Jay. And we got a pretty good lineup tonight. But before we get into all of that, um, let's continue to talk about this Monday. And the reason I want to do that is because you heard recently that they got something where they got a lot of companies out there that's trying to do like a pilot for a 4-day work week. I support it. Because Mondays are just absolutely trash. Simply because you work all weekend, right? I mean, well, you're off all weekend. You work
Hey,
5 days.
girl. Hey.
Hey, Rika, what's up? Rika just reminded me that I'm supposed to be in Jamaica right now, but I had to opt out of that trip. Yeah,
Oh, that.
we have a travel group of our graduating class of 1997, and we typically go to Jamaica. I had a conference that I was at last week, so I couldn't attend. We had a blast. We did a cruise for our 20th, but I think I don't know how many people we got, but shout out to the folks that did make it out to Jamaica. I'm hating right now. Wish I was there with y'all. But
Yeah.
back to this Monday thing. I mean, what do you think about that? You think we can get away with right, Tuesday to Friday? I'm with it. So what do you think about that, Nick? You think we should look at going to a 4-day work week?
I, I I do. Um, the weekend is not enough, and I don't know anyone who is excited about Mondays. And sure, if we have a 3-day weekend, people could say, ugh, you know what I mean? But then it just, yeah, and it seems like you would have better productivity, with 4 days. You see some of these countries that have them, and studies have shown that they're more productive, and even with companies who allow naps, more productive. So
Rika missed out on the trip too. Damn, that's all right. We gonna do it up. I think we're doing something in October locally. We're gonna do it up then. Our class always do it big. But anyway, before we get into the shits, of course, we want to go ahead and shout out everybody out there that's watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Our loyal listeners out there, One Mile High Radio, uh, Zingo TV channel 199, Bobby Blackjack come through. We see you. All our partners, that's helping us off to our silent partners. One that's helping us out in the background. Shout out to the squad, which entails, you got Sean out there and parts unknown who know where the hell he at right now. You got you
aren't
got
unknown.
Merv out there, probably getting in all types of shenanigans. You got the
Shenanigans for sure.
City Boy Supreme, Mark out there. You got the Street Team General, Tazon, we already saw in the comments. You got Becca, you got Tina B. Let me see. I think I might have hit everybody. I ain't leave nobody. I hate leaving people out.
Mel.
Oh, my bad. Shout out to Mel, marvelous Mel out there, doing a thing. Um, so let's see. Where do we want to start tonight? Let's start with what seems to be a massive disappointment. This past, when was it? Friday? When did this album release? I think it was the other day. I know it was Friday or Thursday. So Drake released what is, I want to put this out there because I think this is what people are failing to understand. He released a dance album called Honestly. Never mind. And I don't know about you, Nick, but he is getting absolutely destroyed for this album. From what I've seen since it came out. What are you seeing on your end?
Same. Well, okay. So I'm seeing. Rico is
Hey,
convinced that Sean is CIA.
hey, dude.
That
Dude be just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. That's the only thing I can
I could
explain.
get into this conspiracy theory. I could buy into that. But I've seen um I've I've seen a lot of people say that it's trash, but I have seen a few people who really fuck with it.
Well, I think I would be one of those people. I haven't had time to let it marinate and listen to it, give it a couple of listens. But as you know, I'm an inspiring freelance vocalist. So I mean, I love that old R&B and all that shit. Uh, but like Sharika said, I mean, he's Drake, so he's going to do numbers. So the haters can hate. I think people got to manage their expectations because I think the Drake has been so good for so long that it's almost as if when you're one of these artists that are consistently great, your Drakes, your Kanye's, your Jay-Z's, your Nas, if you jump out there and do something different, I think it's totally unfair, but it's usually not well received. You agree or disagree with that?
Um so yes, if people are used to you being one way and you get out of that lane, then yeah, people probably may not receive it well.
Well, let me ask you this though. Do you think that Drake is a victim of his own success and popularity?
Um,
Damn, you in deep thought thinking about this shit,
you
ain't you?
know why? Because I was thinking about like Nas and Jay-Z and and yeah, he might be. I'm not comparing Drake to Nas and Jay-Z. I'm just comparing circumstances. Um, where people they they have, like a some they reach some kind of status or some kind of success, and then
Right.
people, then like they change up a little bit, and people are like, whoa, wait a second. I fuck with the album. I'm not
True,
even a
true,
big
true.
Drake person, but I fuck with the album.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so Rika says it's like he had to go in another direction to stay relevant. I just Drake Drake has no problem dabbling into different genres. We've seen it with the dancehall thing. We've seen it with the British drill and oh, what's the other grime? You know,
hmm,
we've seen it, time and again, where he has no problem dipping into these different genres and experimenting with them. And so, I don't think that he did this to stay relevant. I think that it's just more of that. Him experimenting. He had that song on More Life.
here's my thing though. I mean, I feel you, and I feel where Rika's coming from. I think that artists like
Catchy.
Drake, I think that artists like Drake, Kanye, and I'm not putting them in the same class as Jay Z and Nas, but I mean they'll eventually be in those same conversations. I think when you reach the level of success that and not um well, shit. Why am I losing my words? The level of success that Drake and Kanye has received, I think that you have leeway to step out there and do something different. Now it might not be well received, but your name alone is going to like Rika said, Drake. People like Drake and Kanye are going to do numbers regardless, and the sales are doing well for this album regardless of the reviews. Now let me ask you this: Do you think that the criticism is too harsh?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But like me, I'm a house head. I love dance music. Um, play his own
Now,
shit. You don't rock with it.
I think it's too harsh because simply here's I think that people really need to manage their expectations because when it's kind of like when K Dot album came out,
Mm.
like I wasn't going to be one of those people that's begging people to like K Dot's album because when someone hasn't made an album in like 5 years, it's highly anticipated, and we all don't know how to manage our expectations because everything K Dot had given us before was straight fire. So he did something different. I thought the album was amazing as well, but you have some people that they just it seems like they want people to be stagnant. Like, yeah, like Rika saying, people's expectations are limited. They expect everything they got the last time, but better. You're not always going to get that because that's why these people are artists. Artists use different ways of expressing themselves. I mean, you're not growing or anything like that if you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, even if it's hot. That's where the Catch 22 come in because like Pusha T. One thing I heard about Pusha T is that all of his albums sound the same. They say he's a dope artist, but how many cocaine albums, how many, cocaine albums are we going to get? So it's kind of like a Catch 22. You if you're doing the same thing over and over again, people are going to ask for something different. If you do something different, it's gonna people are going to be
Yeah,
highly critical. And like Rika said it best, I think people's expectations are limited as well as crazy sometimes. So I think the album will grow on people as time go by. But let's get into something that you wanted to talk about, which I didn't even know that Beyonce was coming out with a new album. So Beyonce is coming out with an album.
yes,
When is it? When is it? July?
yes.
It's July.
So the date is. Let me not get this wrong. I just said it. I just said it, and
I think
you
you
was
said July
making it
19th or
hot.
something like that. But
Think
at
it was
any
the
rate,
21st. Think it was in
uh,
July this month. No, 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 no. It was not July the 21st. It was. Damn. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. It is coming out. All right, Nicole, have your shit right. Have your shit together.
yeah, we literally went over this before we came on air.
I know. What is going on with my life?
I want to say it's the
Um,
19th. Did you say the 19th of July?
it could be.
Okay, we
It
going
could be.
okay, let's just go.
But at any
Let's
rate, her first single. All right, so when she released, so when the announcement came out, like this
right.
is wild. Like Beyonce don't have to do nothing, and I stand for a queen that just who just knows who the fuck she is. So she comes out like people don't even know what the fuck they bought. It was you go on the shop, her Beyonce website, and you go to the shop section. It's a box that says Act One Renaissance. It's like it's the Act One Renaissance is glossy and the box is matte.
So
Which
you're definitely part of the Bayhive, huh?
I am.
Okay.
I
There,
am.
there's no
So
there's nothing wrong with admitting that. I like this. I'd like to take this opportunity to dispel a myth again that Sean keeps alive. I think he accuses me and Merv of this because we're diehard Jay-Z fans.
ah
I'm not part of he puts me in the Bayhive by default because that's Jay-Z's wife. I'm just not too I don't people are highly critical of Beyonce. I'm just not I'm not. I think she's great. And I don't just think she's great because she's Jay's wife or whatever. We got Ingrid in the comment. Let's see what she said. I think the same will happen to I think the same happened with Beyonce. She still has her true followers, but when she started changing up a bit, it wasn't well received. So I'm real curious as to how this single will be. Ingrid, that's a very, very good point. It almost seems as though that we find when artists are highly revered, it's almost as if we try to find ways to kind of like criticize them. I think Beyonce has been in this category a long time ago, because I still think it's crazy when people say that she can't sing.
Is your husband in the CIA?
So I'm you said the single. I know you just said the single drop tomorrow, right?
Tonight at midnight. Tonight at midnight.
That would also be known as tomorrow. But yeah,
Okay.
I am going to I'm gonna download that to see how it works out. But looking forward to Beyonce's Renaissance album.
Break My Soul. And
Break My Soul.
Again, it was not announced. Her bio on her Twitter and Instagram, I believe, was just updated with
what platform? I mean, is that going to be available on like Apple Music and all that good shit? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
Excuse the sirens. I live in Philly.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Nick's picks, and the first one. Let me put up the picture first. I thought this was funny when you said this to me. Hold on, let's put up this picture. Okay, talk to us about this, Nick.
Okay, so this is what we're looking at is a letter. I'm going to read it in a little bit. So a woman, she has lights hanging up in her yard. You know, she must be crafty and creative because I am diving deep into this conspiracy theory. So she bought some jars from AC Moore. And she put some tea lights in them, but they're different colors. Some people were upset and they sent the letter to her that says, "Dear resident of blank Kenwood Avenue." So I'm assuming that is the door number. "Your yard is becoming relentlessly gay. Myself and others in the neighborhood ask that you tone it down." Okay, so let me go back. Relentlessly gay is in bold and it's underlined it. Tone it down is bold and underlined. Underlined. Did I say underlined it? Okay, girl. Let's get it together. This is a Christian, bold, underlined area, and there are children. Children is capitalized for some reason. "Keep it up, and I will be forced to call the police on you!" Exclamation mark. Police and you are capitalized. Your kind need to have, again, capitalized.
Wow.
For God. God is God, which is all capitalized. Signed, a concerned homeowner.
Hey, this is fucking funny to me. And before I let you go, I gotta say this. The reason I think this is funny because I don't. I think it's absolutely hilarious that people are so concerned with people living their lives in ways that you're not bothering anybody. But I just find it hilarious that somebody went out of their way, right, to make this letter, and they think that they're being just. They think that they're being holy, and they actually think that this is like a crime. And they think it's a crime because why do they think it's a crime? Because they think they can call the police, because the way somebody has their property, their yard set up. I can go on this all day, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you have it because this is why this is fucking hilarious to me. Go ahead.
Trey says, question, isn't it funny how the more people claim to be Christian, the less Christ-like they
Absolutely. Right. Go ahead, Nick. I need you to speak on this one.
First of all, I strive to be relentlessly gay.
Okay.
And, the further that I move forward in my gayness, I hope to be relentlessly gay. Like, So anyway, this lady, so she says, that she's going to put up rainbows everywhere. She likes rainbows. She thinks that they're pretty. She just, so now because of this ridiculous letter, she's going to have them all over her yard. Um, I believe she was taking donations. Um,
Oh
for
yeah, she got all that money. How much did she raise?
it was quite a
Was it
lot.
20K or something like
It
that?
was something like that. It was something like that. And so she set a goal of 5,000. Within 48 hours, she had raised 5 times that. So that's at least 25,000. So
So she
she,
has the
oh
funding
no,
to make.
wait a minute now. It says more than 28,000.
Okay.
So she's going to use some of it, to get more supplies to rainbowify her yard
To
and
make her
her
job,
home.
to make her yard even more relentlessly gay. Okay, I'll support it.
And she's also going to, well, it says might. I hope it's not a might, but she also might find a way to contribute some of the money to anti-bullying programs.
That's awesome.
So that is awesome. It will be, awesome if she does that. But even if she doesn't do that, it's just obscene how people really try to dictate your life. Like, there was this woman who had this sign back home in York. I feel like I'm like not, what is her name? With the St. Olaf stories or whatever.
Sophia?
Like a
Betty White?
Yeah, I forget the name of her character. But Sophia was the mom.
Oh.
Sophia, Blanche, Dorothy.
What? What? I drew a blank too. I guess she's so famous as, late great Betty White.
Yeah, right.
Why am I drawing a blank? Somebody put the name in the comments if they know
Yeah,
Betty White's name from Golden Girls. We're fucked up for this right now because we should know this. So somebody put that name in the comments. But for right now, we'll just go with Betty White. Go ahead, continue.
So someone back home, they had a huge sign. It said something like it had a big peach rose. So
Rose. It
thank you,
is Rose. Go ahead.
It was a big sign with a peach, and it said something, isn't it peachy that Jesus is Lord, or something like that. And her neighbors complained about it. This went on for like over a year where they were complaining about it, and they took it to court and all of this. And I can't remember. I want to say that the courts at first ruled in her neighbor's favor, but then they reversed the decision because it's her fucking property. But yeah, like, I could see if it was like the Seinfeld episode, where with the Kenny Rogers restaurant, how there was like this beaming red light into like Jerry's apartment.
Right.
Okay. But if it's just rainbows in a yard, like, come on, it doesn't. Who like? It was just tea lights in jars. The lady isn't gay. That's besides the point. Even if she was, like, who the fuck are you to like tell somebody that they're relentlessly gay? They should, there are children in the neighborhood. Tone it down. This is a Christian area. Your kind need to leave.
Just let the bigotry just flow.
Have respect for God. Like, come on.
Hey, these days people ain't even hiding the bigotry. It's just like it's just casual nowadays, man. That's the funny thing about it.
It is.
Yo.
It is. And then threatening to call the police. Now, depending on where this is, that could turn ugly.
Right, Ingrid, I
You know what
agree.
I mean? Depending on what they look like racially.
Hey, you know what's funny? And you said that the individual isn't gay, but Trey made a very funny and true comment in my opinion. He's like, yeah, the stereotype that in my life I have found to be most true in true cases. How in the hell are you going to outpay a gay person? Karen,
Yeah.
you co-opt your attitude from RuPaul. So yeah, that is funny. I just find it very funny that someone will report that to the point where, like, because that's a little catch-all. Like, to me, as a black man, when somebody tell me they're going to call the police on me, I'm sorry, in this current climate, I feel as though they're telling me I want you to die. That's just how I feel. And I know that some people may look at that and be like, well, that's ridiculous. No, if someone tells me that they're going to call the police on me, unless I am like harming them or harming their family or stealing some goods off of them, if I'm just out there living like we normally do, we tend to get the police calling us just because we're out there, like living our lives. When someone calls the police on me in that type of instance, I feel like they want me to die. So
And there are areas in this country that that are not kind to gay people at all. There are places
yeah,
where me and my girlfriend, we know we will not be going there, for vacation. Looking at me, people would not, you know, know that I'm gay. But if you see my girl, you gonna know she's gay.
right.
And we want to be comfortable, to like, hold hands and walk down the street. Like, I don't want to, if
Oh,
I'm
so y'all want to live
live.
your lives free from harassment, like every other, free from
Yes,
harassment, happy, and like everybody else does. Imagine that.
100%.
Imagine that.
100%.
You know
Like, this
what?
lady wants to
Um, I
decorate
hope
her
that this
house.
individual. I hope that this individual uses the vast majority of that money to make their house even relentlessly more gayer, just to piss those people off.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to your next pick, and I think that it's about Avatar. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Before you get into this, like, I'm not. I guess this is the like animated series, but the last thing it seems as though like Avatar. Did Avatar 2 ever come out? Because the first one was dope. I went to the movies to see it, and it seemed like It seemed like Avatar 2 is like kind of like the detox
No,
album. That was supposed to
but
come out.
this is Avatar: The Last Airbender, which has
Right.
nothing to do with the Avatar movies.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I'm way
So
off.
this is a series that came on Nickelodeon. It is such a dope fucking show. Like, if you think that you're not going to get into anime, you don't the idea of anime is just so silly to you. Watch this show. It is on Prime. I'm sure it's somewhere, but they have Nickelodeon, it might be on the Nickelodeon app or whatever. But I know for sure that it's on Prime. This show is just so fucking dope. So there is a chosen being. Um, like once every generation, I believe, called who becomes the Avatar, which is someone. Okay, so there are earthbenders, airbenders, firebenders, and waterbenders. Um, these are just people who can manipulate, the various, uh, they can do air, they can do, what I mean? So you have some people who can, well, no, Aang, the Avatar, was the last airbender. So, so he's the only airbender. But you have waterbenders, you have firebenders, and you have earthbenders. But Aang, he went into he went into like solitude, but not really. He went into like a cocoon like state for 100 years, and then he came back. This is the premise of the show. But anyway, can you put that picture back up?
Sure.
Okay, so Kyoshi was an avatar. So there was an Avatar. Um, so before Aang, who was an airbender, there was I can't even think of his name right now, but he was a firebender. He was the Avatar before Aang. Before the firebender Avatar was Kyoshi. Kyoshi made some you saw her sometimes in the show, and I'm so interested in I'm so hyped about this movie. It comes out in 2024. Zuko comes out in 2025. Zuko, I cannot wait to see that movie. Zuko is a firebender, and I just Zuko is the person who was the Avatar's adversary.
I mean, to watch this shit, you look real fucking excited over there. Shit.
That show was so good. I'm telling you. Like, I know people are going to be like, why is she going off about a kid's show? Listen, it is not just a kid's show. It is so good. And so Zuko, he has like a really good story. It's a redemption story. Then there's a Korra movie coming out in 2026. I'm not so excited about that, but only because I didn't care for the second Avatar show. It I wasn't, Korra is the Avatar after Aang. She's a waterbender. So what makes avatars dope is that they can do all four. They can manipulate all four of the elements. So that's basically what the Avatar was about. It was other things, but the mission of it, was watching Aang learn, the four elements, along with other stuff. He had to defeat, people, and Trey and Uncle Iroh series would be so fucking dope. Oh my god, it would be dope. I agree. So I'm really excited about the Avatar, the Last Airbender movies, particularly the Zuko and Kyoshi movies.
Right. I might have to check that out. Y'all seem
You
really
should. It's just 3 or 4 seasons. That show was taken off too soon.
True. Okay. Well, we're gonna hit up. We're gonna talk about P Valley. We're up to episode. Oh well, shit! You got me sold on that one. Shit, you mentioned Golden Child. I might want to check it out for real. Okay, so moving right along, P Valley season 2 is into full swing. The episode 3 aired last Friday. I want to say last night.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk briefly about episodes 1 and 2. What I will tell you about episode 1 is that of season 2. Like the opening where they had old buddy, everybody's, and what I liked most about they introduced, the Rona into this season.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the pandemic, like we were in the pandemic, like at the beginning of the pandemic, like 2 years ago, and they're at the point where everything is opening back up, and the mayor, Clifton Ruffin, dies, of coronavirus complications, and. When we left last season, we thought that the Pink was saved because, Haley,
threw all that money on the floor.
Yeah, 200 quarter mil to keep the Pink. So she's like the part owner. So she's like the majority owner. Majority owner along with Uncle Clifford. But that opening scene, that's how you start a fucking season. Like you gotta be innovative. You gotta be very. Go ahead.
They handled the Rona as only they can.
I thought that was very dope, simply because when the pandemic came and you had to be in it. Some people really had to be innovative. I mean, like me, I was already working from home when the pandemic. I already had a work from home job, so there was no transition. Even though I got furloughed for about 3 months. So
Mercedes is that chick, Rika.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's a wonderful American. But yo, that opening scene, it's amazing how they had to make an adjustment because everything is shut down. And the whole car wash idea, I don't know who came up with that drive-through strip club concept idea, but it was absolutely fucking amazing. Dude pulled it. Hey, matter of fact, dude had a choice. Dude had a choice whether he can go to Patrice's church and he can make that left, or he can go where they say for some titties and wings. That was the sign said right there.
Mm-hmm.
He made that right turn, and that opening scene was dope. It was really dope. It capped off by Mercedes up and down the pole as a horse and all that stuff, and she's pretty much carrying. They call it the Mercedes experience because you got cats that's coming to this car wash, and she's, it was funny when Uncle Clifford came with the complimentary wings. And yeah, when he came with the complimentary wings and the he said and some wipes for that dashboard right there. The dude had already bust all over all over his car. That was very, very funny. So I guess episode 1 is, everything's starting to open back up. Mercedes has a shoulder injury, and there's conflict between Haley and Uncle Clifford, if I'm not mistaken, because a lot of the money there's only like 25K left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else did you have going on in that episode? They had the funeral was dope, and the thing is, what I like about it is that they had like a themed funeral, which is common in the South, whereas a lot of people will have in their will, don't wear no white, I don't want no flowers, things of that nature. So they had the green get up on. Everybody had green on for the mayor's funeral or whatever, and of course Andre's wife she's a doctor, so she's in the midst of the pandemic. He just let himself go. I guess he got laid off because the whole Promised Land thing fall through, but he now has a reason to go back to Chuckalisa, because he was the what
godson.
He was and he was in charge of the reading of the will and the estate and all that stuff. So he got to meet back up with Haley.
Yeah.
And at the end of that episode was when there's actually conflict between Haley and Mercedes as well, because Haley's trying to keep the club afloat because there's still talks of the casino coming back. So I think Haley's at the point where she will sell if she has to, but she don't want to, because I think it's to the point now where she's asking for a whole lot of money because she said something about the worth versus what did she say? I forgot what she said, but she said it's worth a whole lot. Yeah, it's worth more. It's worth a whole lot more than that 25K. Because of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 2. What went on? Do you remember what happened with episode 2?
That hoodoo stuff.
Oh, 7 pounds of pressure. Yo, that shit was wild. So Mercedes, they're still getting haunted by the I guess the ghost of what's his name, Martavius,
Yeah.
Haley's ex-husband or whatever that they killed. And I guess we come to find out that Mercedes actually killed him, right?
Yes.
I think that's what I got from him, because she got 7 pounds of pressure, and they brought Diamond back, and Diamond knows voodoo, and he had to extract 7 pounds of pressure from her arm. Now, I don't know much about that hoodoo and because Mississippi, that's next door to Louisiana, so they got all that going on down there. But I found that quite interesting that Diamond, not only was he a badass, that was a fucking security guard supreme, but he extracted the 7 pounds of pressure. It was cool when he lifted into the whatchamacallit and all that good stuff. But that was a very, very good episode. Mercedes fell off the pole, which is like, it made a huge deal out of that, because that's kind of like I guess that's the thing as far as strip clubs. Like that's highly publicized, advertised. If you fall off the pole, because she's
just that girl.
Well, she got these youngins in there that's that's doing these amazing tactics, and they're. I mean, right now
Woo!
yo,
That
look,
whisper that they ain't nothing to play with.
yeah, they ain't messing around. They ain't messing around. Episode 3 was quite interesting, but we're not going to get in episode 3. If you want to hear about episode 3, ensure that you tune in to the Merv and Tazon show tomorrow night at 8:00.
So can I give my feedback on the show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, the first episode, Homeboy was at the crossroads. Crossroads in, well, okay, so the four corners, the crossroads in most Black, African traditional religions is like, crossroads decision making literally. And we saw, Patrice, who is perceived as being, good, church, what I mean, is good, but a lot of people don't know how she came about that. And or going into the so-called den of sin, which is the strip club. But in the strip club, you have people who look out for each other. You have people who love each other and really care about each other and who are honest with each other. So the crossroads in a lot of African traditional religions, at the crossroads lies a deity by different names. He's a trickster. So that's why I'm saying perceived, because on a very basic level, it looks like, good and evil, but it's all about what things really are beneath the surface. So, when did you notice like how Haley looked when she came up to the attorney in the first episode? She looked like the fucking devil. Like she had this red, this red glow, from the lights on her. She has on this trench coat, this dark red lipstick, and she just was giving temptress vibes.
This was
does with this man who is married.
This is when she met back up with Andre when she said, "Short me down."
Yes.
That what you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
So that is another thing that struck me. I was like, okay, what's with all this red glow behind her? She's in the dark and she comes out and she's got all this red.
She has a red bone, so.
Yes, but we know what the red can symbolize, or red and black, which in many traditions is the color of this trickster that I just mentioned. So there's a lot of spiritual themes that I'm seeing in this season. Well, I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there yet, Rika. I was about to get into that. In episode 2, they made it even more evident that the spiritualism. So you see, okay, whoa. In the first episode, remember when they were in that room and there was like a spirit moving when Clifford and Big L were talking. And remember they were like,
yeah.
You leave the fan on. And then the next episode, you see, the pole, or was that in the first episode? That was in the first episode. The pole in that room moving, and Whisper comes and starts talking to it.
That's episode 2.
Yeah, it's like Whisper is a seer.
Right.
It just that's the vibe I'm getting from her. And the way that I can't get into that. Or was that episode 2? I can't remember. But what I'm getting from this season is that Haley she's gonna get on our fucking nerves this season. she's about to get on our last damn nerve this season. Um, last season it was like, oh, poor her, she running from this man, she done lost her daughter, you know what I mean? But I feel like she about to be the biggest bitch this season. And she done brought a whole lot of bad juju with her.
She the
That
owner.
Montavious situation, yes, Montavious was on the camera, his ghost, you know she done caused Mercedes, to be in this predicament to where she's carrying all of this emotional baggage,
Right.
because of what she had to do to save Haley. And so I'm very much looking forward to this episode. I think this episode is going to be fire. My family is from the Gulf Coast, my American side. They're from the Gulf Coast. They are about that hoodoo life. And so I'm just very much looking forward to seeing this. And, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah, I agree with Ingrid. Andre had a reason to go back to Chuckalisa. But the thing is though, that's where he wants to be. I think that him and I don't want to I don't want to stay too long on this, but yeah, Andre and Haley definitely have a thing, and there's massive of course symbolism and all that stuff, like with the
his wife
walls.
being she's the angel. She's out there risking her life, with the Rona. She's got, the face mask, you know what I mean? The left scars on her. So, and then you got Haley. So
Oh shit. Yeah, great deal of symbolism. So I mean, but before we're gonna stop right there. Y'all wanna, episode 3, check out the Mervin Tazon show tomorrow at 8. Same channel, same
check
time.
it out. I'm gonna be
They're
checking
gonna
it
they're
out
gonna
too.
they're gonna deep dive into episode 3. So moving right along, we are going to go to what do we have next coming on the Stacks Facts. Disclaimer, all this stuff isn't going to be facts. But let's talk about Father's Day. And before we get into Father's Day, here's what we're gonna do, because we're all cheesy and stuff like that. We're gonna go with Nick first. This is Nick and her dad.
Hey, that's the banners covering my face.
Oh, hold
So let
on.
me tell some stories. Oh, there we go. So let me tell you this story real quick. So me and my dad, we are huge Eagles fans, as you can see. I had went back home to York to watch the Atlanta game with them, which was, we had the first week bye, and then so that was round 2 of the playoffs. That was our first game. So I went down there to watch it with them. It was nice. And then he wanted me to keep coming back down. I said, Dad, now if the Eagles keep going further, I'm gonna be in Philly. But my dad and I, we've come a long way in our relationship. That I actually bought him that jersey. Wilbert Montgomery is one of his favorite Eagles. And I was wearing Brian Dawkins, who is my favorite Eagle. My dad loves the 80s era, even though it was not good. In 1980, we lost against the Raiders. But at any rate, I didn't. So my dad was there when I was born. He was there for like the first year of my life. And then, he had some trouble with the law and everything. And he was, back and forth. But, when me and my dad, we really, really started, forming a relationship for real was when I was 16. And it was just, I know a lot of people say that it's the parents' responsibility to, to reach back to the child. And it is. I completely agree. But me and my dad, we are where we are because it has been a joint effort. You know, he wanted to, be a father to me, and I wanted to be his daughter, not just in name only, not just blood relation. I wanted, we wanted that father-daughter relationship with each other. So, the time I get to see him, the time I get to spend with him, it just means so much. I love my dad a lot. He's my dad, he's my homie. He don't never judge me. He if don't nobody support me, or if don't nobody got my back, it's my dad. My dad don't criticize me at all. He'll tell me when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? He'll tell me when I'm wrong. But I it's always in support. So shout out to my dad, Emery, Whedon Jr. That's my daddy.
That's awesome. So I don't think I have any pictures of me and my dad alone, but I think this may be the last picture that we took together. And it's unfortunate because this just happens to be, this picture is about 25 years old. This is the picture that I took on the day of graduation. Him, my mom, and after I graduated, of course, I went in the Army, so there wasn't a lot of opportunities for us to take pictures together. However, we ended up losing our father in 2005. I was 25 years old, and it was kind of out of the blue. And everybody called him that. He was known as Big Ernie. A legend. I'm not saying that because he's my father, but if you ask anybody that live where we live, he's a legend, highly revered. And what I posted yesterday on Facebook is true. Good, right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. He is responsible for the man that you see, before you. Because I was going to back out of going to basic training, and he gave me that push. Push meaning, you got to get the fuck up out of here. If you don't go to basic training, you got to go somewhere because you already made that commitment. You're going to honor that commitment. But I mean, it wasn't the fact that he was pushing me out of the house.
Yeah.
If I had not leave, he saw the greatness that awaited me that I didn't see at the time. So I ended up leaving. I wanted to quit while I was there. A lot of people don't know that I wanted to quit like as soon as I got there. I was homesick. I missed my girl at the time. I was only 2 hours away when I was in basic training. But what made me stay is that I was not going to be able to go home and look my dad in the face and say that I quit basic training. And the thing is, I was great at everything. Just mentally, that's the first time being away from home, and first time, being away from home for an extended period of time. I was very, very homesick, even though I was just fucking 2 hours away from home. But in basic training, you're isolated. People are telling you it's kind of like you're in jail. People are telling you when to do, what to do, and how to do it. So he gave me that extra push. Even after that, I mean, even still to this day, I make decisions based on what I think my father would make my father proud and things of that nature. It hasn't failed me yet, and I still use him. I mean, as well as of course, my wife, my family is motivation for me to go hard and everything that I do. Some people think I'm a little crazy and difficult to deal with, but I'm one of those people that I believe in doing things the right way. Believe in put forth the full effort in everything that you do. I do have a problem where I sometimes put that on other people where I really shouldn't, but it hasn't failed me yet. And yeah, like Rika said, like at my going away party, and Sarika got the memory of an elephant. She remembers everything. I had a going away party before I went to basic training. It was lit. I was drunk, but from what I heard, it was lit. It was a pretty good turnout now that I think about it. But I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave my girl. That was one of the main reasons. And I mean, I'm from a small town called Georgetown, and I thought that was where it's at. How can I leave Georgetown? But fortunately, I left. Fortunately, my dad, I was fortunate enough to be in a 2-parent home where my father was very, very, I wouldn't say strict, but he made sure he raised me and my brothers to be men. you know, and to be, men of integrity, men that work hard, men that take care of their families. So that's my pops. Uh, even
Yeah,
though he's been gone 17
damn.
years, he lives on through us. I mean, I talk to some of his friends sometimes, and when my voice comes, when me and Brandon, when we talk to some of his friends or like older people in our family, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you sound like sound like your dad." A lot of people saying I'm beginning to look like him as well, which is great. But yeah, that's that's my pops. And before I move on, my pops he was very non-biased towards his kids. I don't think me or none of my brothers, we played football for him. None of us were good enough to start our first year playing football with him. Well, except for my older brother, but he was just like that. He put into our brains that you have to earn everything that you get in life. So I mean, he said you're not good enough. You're not starting on my damn team until you get better. And a lot of people aren't going to do that. But that once again another thing that makes me who I am. But shout out to my pops. Uh, but I want to go even further into this Father's Day thing. So and this is just my opinion. Why does father? Well, I think a lot of people feel this way. So why does Father's Day fail to receive the same love as Mother's Day? What you think, Nick? You think that's a fair assessment from fathers?
Um, I I hear men say this, so I
Mm-hmm.
have no choice but to believe them. You know what I mean? And so I believe it because it's said too often by men. I don't know. In my personal life, I don't know. Um, my brother is a dad, um, and he receives all of the praise. He gets more praise than, you know what I mean? As a father, like it's the opposite in my family. You know, my mom tells him that he's a great father every chance that she gets.
Cool.
But yeah.
Well, I'm not big on. I'm not. I'm one of those fathers
I
that I
do
mean
see,
I believe.
but
Go
I
ahead.
do see where like it doesn't seem like y'all get good gifts. Like ties, socks. There will be a cookout, but y'all gotta cook.
Yeah,
A
and
lot
the
of
thing
women
is,
consider
it-
vagina to be a present.
yeah, which it is. Um, here's my thing. It's funny you got into gifts, right? Because a lot of things I'm not a big gift person. I don't. Like I have this thing where people say I need to celebrate myself more. I don't believe in. I'm not a big person as far as gift. If I have like a birthday or a Christmas or Father's Day, I really sincerely do not care if I don't get any gifts. But my wife goes out of her way to make me feel special. So it's the thought that counts. So we had this new Ciroc that came out. She made sure she found got this for me.
Oh, what flavor is it?
This is the new joint. This is that passion. That passion joint. Yeah, that's the
What
new.
does that mean? Is passion fruit?
It just says passion. I guess Puffy ain't will go
I
with the
like
fruit.
passion fruit now.
It's just passion. It's a pretty bottle too. You got the purple and
That is
like
pretty.
shit going on. And I got I'm a big candle guy. I like burning candles, so I got this
Do
candle as well.
you? Now that is that eucalyptus?
It
No,
is
it's cinnamon.
it is lemongrass eucalyptus mint. Yeah, so smells
Oh,
really good. And I got
oh,
another
that's
pair of
nice.
I'm gonna get clown for this, but
That
I like
smells
Crocs. I got
pretty.
another pair of Crocs in a see-through, so I can wear my little nice little socks with it. So I
That's
got things that I like. So I was grateful, but she literally didn't have to get anything. So yeah, I mean I grilled yesterday, but it's because I wanted to. It's something that I enjoy. I
you
wasn't
make
made
that
to grill,
spear chicken.
but I fixed some steaks and some like kebabs and stuff like that. A
Mm.
light cook. But all in all, I had a pretty good Father's Day. My family goes out of their way to make me feel special on Father's Day, but they know that I'm not a big. I don't need gifts or anything like that. Shit, I just bought a fucking new truck. Impulse buy too. I just bought a fucking Z71 Silverado. I've always wanted a truck. Find the opportunity to get one. So I give myself throughout the years. So yeah. So I'm not big on gifts, but I do think that the gap is being bridged. I think fathers are being recognized, and getting that love, because I think people have brought a whole lot of awareness to the fact that it's all about the mothers. It's all about the mothers. But I hope that everybody had a very happy Father's Day. I hope all the fellas that's
Yes.
down with that wants gifts and shit like that. I hope that everybody got what they want. I know Brandon is a big gift guy. I know he got his gifts. He's a big gift guy.
I sent my dad money to get something to eat.
Yeah, but he deserves those gifts because my little brother is one of the best fathers I know. So happy Father's Day to him. Yeah, he is highly celebrated in his house, as he should. So I want to you got anything else on Father's Day? I think we good there, right? Are you really going on the phone in the middle of the pod? That we doing?
My girl kept calling me, and so I had to she forgot today was Monday.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry for the unprofessionalism. Tell you what,
very unprofessional, but I'm over it that quick. Okay, let's go on to our next topic, and that is going to be Juneteenth, Freedom Day. So we got the best of both worlds. Fathers got the best of both worlds yesterday. Black fathers, anyway.
Black ass Father's Day.
So, so it's Juneteenth and Father's Day. I think it's really phenomenal that this became a holiday. Second time? This is the second year as a federal holiday, right?
I believe so.
So, it's a huge deal. But we're gonna talk about the intricacies of Juneteenth. And we're going to talk about a couple of things as far as some of the confusions that lie around June 15th, Juneteenth. Now, I think it goes back to June 19th, 1865. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is where is it 1967 or 1965? I
thought it was 67.
Okay, 67. I'm thinking about the Emancipation Proclamation in 65. So this is when this happened in Texas when it's a shame that it took 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation for somebody to get word down there that, hey, I know you guys may not be aware of this.
No, it is 1865.
1865. So slavery ended, and you guys are free now. Yeah, 1855 or 65?
65. 1855. Okay. Nobody down south was majority of black folks were still held. So
here recently, Juneteenth has just come to the forefront, and it was finally made a federal holiday. And one of the things that I think we need to talk about, I'm glad Nick brought this up yesterday, is how everyone seems to always capitalize on holidays and things of that nature. And one of the first things I could think about before I hand it over to you so we could talk about the commercialization of Juneteenth is that weak ass ice cream that they that great value. Becca was not at all about that shit. Like,
red velvet something.
So I think Walmart had to end up pulling it from their shelves because, like Becca say, like we didn't ask for that. Like we didn't ask for y'all to make no fucking Juneteenth ice cream. So Nick, talk to me a little bit about, your take on the commercialization of Juneteenth as it, just recently became a federal holiday.
Okay, so black folks, mainly in Texas, have been celebrating Juneteenth since forever. Because the holiday goes back down to there. when enslaved people were finally told, of the news about the emancipation in Galveston, Texas. So, and it's not, the white folks had gotten the news. They just
Of
wasn't telling
course.
the black folks because, they did not want to lose, that free labor, they didn't want to lose their nannies, their wet nurses, their butlers. My great grandfather in South Carolina he drove, the horse and buggy for an author. So, they ain't want to lose none of that. None of them white folks did.
I
Um,
won't say.
but
I won't say. Hey,
apparently, but apparently these people especially, because they was like, But
now, and Nick, they was like, I won't say nothing if you won't for two
yeah,
whole fucking years.
yeah, I'm
Like,
telling you. I'm telling you. Um, and so now you have, so fast forward to, the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor murders. You know, we was pissed. You know what I'm saying? And excuse me. And at the same time, there was like, well, I don't want to say the same time. I don't know how long it had been going on, but there was this push, to make Juneteenth, a federally recognized holiday. And so instead of just convicting the people who, murdered these people, who murdered George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, they, it was like, oh, Juneteenth. You know, the summer of all those protests, um,
Ahmaud Arbery
they
happened around
went
that
on
time as
ahead
well.
and that's right. That's right. So my job, they made it, a holiday in the company the first year because it wasn't originally on the calendar. They said y'all can take off June 19th, or y'all can have use it as a floating holiday. And so now there's like Family Dollar had like Juneteenth party decorations. Um Not Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. That's who it was. It was the Dollar Tree. You've got places making Juneteenth, this ridiculous Juneteenth ice cream. There was some other Juneteenth stuff. It's becoming very commercialized very quickly. And a lot of people are not happy about that, especially the black folks from Texas, because from what I'm gathering, they feel like something that was theirs, something that they have grown up with, something that affected, their ancestors, if they're, from Texas
Mm-hmm.
and their families are. But even still, it's something that they grew up with. But they feel like something was taken from them, and they are just, now it's being commercialized. People are not even using the right colors. It's just, it's, and it annoys me too. Like,
Okay, well,
it
let's
annoys
get
me
into,
that,
let's get
yeah.
into the
So when you
colors.
see, when you see a lot of Juneteenth stuff, you see a lot of Pan African colors. And the RBG flag, red, black, and green, is not just for Black Americans. It is a Pan African flag. So you can fly that flag whether you are a Black person in England, a Black person in the Caribbean, a Black American, Black person from, Ghana, a Black person from Uganda, wherever. Because at its essence, for that flag, it is um it it's for Black people, period. The Juneteenth flag is for one specific, you know, thing, which and it's for Black Americans.
Here's my thing, and I didn't comment. I know Nicole, I got so many Nicoles in my life. Made a post. She wanted our opinion on it. I didn't comment on it. To me, I look at this right here as someone that meant well. They just was ignorant to the fact. So I know some people are upset about this and the RBG colors, but I think that whoever did this meant well. That's why it doesn't bother me as much as may happen. I mean, as much as it may bother other people. Lesson learned. Hopefully they'll get it right next year. But some people were outraged by this. Me, not so much. I'm happy that we have a day set aside. That's now a federal holiday. I think the mail didn't run today. So I mean, I had to work today.
No garbage pickup.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I gotta check to see if there's garbage pickup tomorrow because garbage is usually in my neighborhood is usually pushed back a day if there's a federal holiday. So I'm gonna check. Let me check a little app to see if they reckon this South Carolina, so the shit probably still running as usual tomorrow. Because trash is coming through tomorrow. So they recognize that South Carolina is one of them places where literally the state employees get off for Confederate Day. Can you believe that shit?
Wait,
yeah, absolutely.
What?
It's a fucking off day for state. That is a holiday in South Carolina, in which state employees do get off. Confederacy Day. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Huh?
I kid you fucking not. But Nicole, it's South Carolina. I mean, come on, let's be for real here.
Well, what is the obsession down there with being losers? Because the Confederacy lost.
Contrary to others' belief, just like Wyatt on P Valley, the Civil War is still going on. So some people down there actually believes that bullshit, but I'm not going to waste time talking about the Confederacy. But I just wanted to make that comparison. But I just hope that it becomes more to where it's like celebrated, because I know a large number of black people that are celebrating Juneteenth now, and not celebrating the 4th of July. Now, I will say this: 4th of July is this country's Independence Day, and we still have family gatherings during the 4th of July, but we don't. These holidays that we celebrate, my family, like Thanksgiving, 4th of July. It's not recognizing the actual holidays, but it's just time where everybody's off, for an extended period of time because of the holiday. Yeah. We all gather and come together, and that's why I hate when people say, "Oh, I see that you guys." It's always that guy or girl on Facebook. They're going to, they literally are going to say, "Oh, I see none of you celebrated Juneteenth, but I see you out there popping off fireworks." And all type of look. Quit trying to be super duper woke and all that shit. Let people live. I'm pretty sure. I mean, and this is just my family. I can't speak for all families, but we don't have the whole fucking Uncle Sam with the red, white, and blue and the flags everywhere. Now we get together, we cook out, we drink, we fellowship, and we do pop off fireworks because kids like shit like that. Hell, I liked fucking fireworks when I was young. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't coincide with, and I stress this, it doesn't coincide with 1776, because me personally, I think that the Declaration of Independence, that wasn't for us, because that document was written. We were 3/5 of a man, and we were still slaves. Yeah. That Declaration of Independence had nothing to do with us. However, fast forwarding, we preserved that as a time at all these American holidays, as far as Thanksgiving and the 4th of July, where we just gather, because those are traditional times where the family's off, but we're celebrating fellowship, family, and all that shit.
Liquor and music.
Yeah, absolutely. Ain't like we playing fucking, patriotic hymns and all that bullshit, because I mean, the term patriotic is selective in these United States of America, and that's a whole nother fucking of course that's a whole nother pod right there. But shout out to Blast Music Group in the
Yeah,
building.
hey.
Appreciate y'all for checking us out. But hopefully going forward, hopefully Juneteenth could be something that, you know, more of our people are celebrating. But I think we got a pretty good start. And Nick, that was a nice call out because I'm not going into all the people that's mad. We
And
can just
use
let
the
them be
correct
mad.
flag next year. Please, you know, I think that it is very important to use that flag because, you know, that was the beginning of us being recognized as American citizens. You know, for better or for worse, that is what we are. We are American citizens, and our ancestors built this country. And so we need to recognize that. You know, the red, white, and blue is for us as well.
Yeah, and my thing is, and I hate to, and I don't want to deep dive into another pod that we're probably going to talk about later down the line. But I mean, I'm at the point now with these United States of America that, you know, people say go back to Africa or whatever. I mean, go back to get out the country and all that stuff. I'm at the point now. I need cut the check though. I need you to cut a check because I want it for services rendered. You're damn right. I want my reparations. I don't need it, but I want it because my people work for it. So I will gladly leave this country where, I mean, I went to the doctor's office today. Thank God I didn't get shot because doing normal shit, doing normal shit like going to church, going to school, going to the grocery store. If you're black, you can get shot doing these things. So just live it. So I mean, I will gladly just cut me my check. I'll take it on up to Canada and watch all the bullshit that goes on. I don't want to go. I don't want to go off on a tangent because I go. You know, I could go all night on that one, Nicole. So let's move right along, and I think we're going to go to our main topic, and that's
Nick.
Venus versus Mars, and we're going to try to bridge the gap between men and women as far as you know, relationships and things of that nature. I want to preface this by saying I see it on social media all the time where you have this war, mainly with single men and single women. This shit is really I would say it's amazing watching it unfold because everyone it's like we all listen to reply instead of listening to understand. And at the end of the day, everybody just go back to their corners, and it's kind of like a repeated cycle because there's no headway or whatever. Because you have men out there that's saying women should do this, women should do that. They're telling women they want to be single their whole lives, and you got women out there that are saying, you know, if men are very critical, you know, mostly when men are very critical of their of women, they say they have mommy issues. They typically call them gay. I absolutely hate that. And I wanted to. I think that's offensive to your community. If a woman says a man is gay because he's critical of a woman, I don't like that. I don't think it's fair to say that they
horrible stereotype that gay men don't like women. You know that they don't like women. Period. You know what I mean? As in they hold something against women. You know they have deep-seated hatred for women.
So some of the things I wanted to want to talk about is Nick, what do you think is the main reason why men and women go to war on social media regarding relationships? Because we've literally seen a lot of this shit in some of our social circles over the years, over the last over the last decade.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that we've known each other for well over a fucking decade, and we've seen these wars, you know, up close and personal. So what is the reason why there's so many?
Unfortunately, I'm sure I participated in many.
Huh?
I said, unfortunately, I'm sure I participated in many.
Well, we all have. Even married folks go in there and give their opinion. Yeah, we've all participated in it.
I think that a lot of single people lack accountability. A lot of us are in, you know, the situations that we're in because we made bad decisions. You know, like a lot of people don't want to admit, hey, you know, I fumbled the bag. You know, the bag in this case being, you know, a good person. You know, I did. I was seeing somebody who, he had a great car. He had one of them Lincoln trucks. He had his own home in an area that is being gentrified. So the house, so he broke the house down to a shell, completely redid it. Completely redid it, which means that he has good financial sense. Great job, takes care of his children, very, you know, very nice guy. And I fumbled it. So I think a lot of it is that it is, a lot of people don't want to accept accountability. I also think it is very lucrative business for those people who want to take advantage of it, such as the Darren Jacksons, the
Kevin Samuel.
Yes, thank you, the Kevin Samuel,
R.I.P.
and this Lori Cutno lady or whatever. I don't know how you say her last name, but she has that wife school where you pay thousands of dollars and she teaches you how to cook and how to look and all this stuff, and then you get hooked up, then you get a certificate, certified wife number.
God damn. Hold on. Are you serious? Hold on. What?
No, I'm very serious.
Somebody went so they got a fucking wife school out there? Oh, what the fuck? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. They used to be here. Then I think they went to France. Now they're in Senegal. And it is thousands of dollars to become a certified wife. Thousands of dollars. And so,
wow.
It is very lucrative. People are single and they want somebody. And I can only speak as a Black woman, but it seems like a lot of these things, if you want to make money, target Black women and tell them, why they're failing. That's why I like watching that show, Kendra G, because she got the smoke for everybody. She has a dating show that she runs. But
hey, yo, I want to leave Rika's topic up here and come back to it because this is very interesting, because I want to take it back, and I think we discussed this, taking it back to I remember back in the day where men and women got married, like my grandparents, like they got married, and regardless of the situation, they stayed married, and everybody, like if you had 4 kids back in the day, be like, damn, you only got 4 kids. But I want to come back to that, and I want to say that I think one of the biggest reasons why men and women go to war on social media is because social media is safe. People tend to say stuff on social media that they're not going to say in a face-to-face situation. I think that also people listen to respond rather listen to understand, because when we're having these conversations, people always forget about personal preference. Now, if I say something to the point whereas I don't like and this is not me, this is just an example. If I say I don't like women that wear weave, the vast majority of women are going to come at my neck or whatever and things of that nature. Now, I'm not saying anything I'm giving my personal preference. I did not say that women that wear weave are this, that, and the third. So I think that a lot of us add to those situations. Men do it too, because if a woman says, I'm not dating no dude that make less than 6 figures. Mm-hmm. So this is how I look at it. And this is just how I look at it. Well, people really need to look at people's personal preference instead of making their statement a generalization, because people don't do it on purpose. They're giving you their personal preference. They're not saying that, because people look at that as if you make less than 6 figures, you ain't shit as a man. I think that's how a lot of men look at it. So we go on the attack, and we will actually say, could you match that same energy as far as, six figures? Because you shouldn't be asking for six figures if you don't. You need to have six figures energy, and it goes down a rabbit hole. Whereas, a man will say, well, if I'm making six figures, I should be able to do this. You should be submissive, and it never no problems ever solved. It's just a snowball, and it just builds, and it's very, very toxic. So I wanna with those two things out there, I just wanna
I
try to figure
agree.
out how to come to some type of common ground.
I agree that people they they listen just enough to respond. Um, I'm generalization because of course I don't, you know, all women do not think the same, all men do not think the same. But I think generally speaking, men and women think differently, for the most part. And I think that um and we go through life with different experiences. There are certain things that are put on men that may not be put on women, such as the responsibility of providing for a household.
Right.
That is now, if a woman, is married and she decides to be the breadwinner, you know, everybody's gonna have an opinion on that, whether it's right or wrong. They're gonna have opinions about her husband too. But
Yeah.
but for the most part, we don't deal with that societal pressure. Men do. And so we go about picking a mate in different ways. A lot of men are looking for someone, who, for one thing, is submissive because they're going to be the main provider. And so they feel like, if I'm going to be paying the light bill, paying the rent or the mortgage, and, this and that and this and that, the least you can do is, give me some kind of submission, respect me as the head of the household. Um, Women don't have that burden. You know what I mean? On them. And I'm rambling. But we go through life with different experiences, and we I think that we need to just sit down, shut up, and listen to each other, because we don't think alike for the most part, and we don't go through life, with
Well,
similar.
and see, you said it, and you said it right there. Like these pressures, and it is understood. Like society tells us that the man should be the breadwinner, and the woman should be the should be submissive. That's what I guess this dates back to the '60s, and time before that, whereas the men went off to work, women stayed home to take care of the house. But it's a different time. But what people have to realize as well is that I think people look at it holistically, and people general. If somebody can make a random statement about their preference, and I don't think people do it on purpose. They will say, "Well, I'm the provider. I have an expectation," and they don't listen to those personal profile pronouns. Like if I say I prefer a wife that stays home and take care of the family, I don't think that should give a woman any cause to say, "Oh, you're with that whole patriarchal thing that we've been trying to get rid of for years. You're this, you're that." That's my personal preference. And what I think is, I honestly think there's someone out there for everybody. It's a little harder for some people to find that person, because what people have to realize is that you have to be able to deal. I think the biggest thing in relationships is that you have to be able to navigate and deal with your mate's imperfections. That's what love is, because nobody's perfect, and I have some ways about me. Whereas yeah, women that wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole, but fortunately, my wife, we've built, and we've learn to live and love with each other's imperfections over the
Hmm.
last 20 years. Now, I mean, it probably if she were to go
20
her way and
years.
out, yeah, this is year 20. So
Oh.
if she were to go her way and go mine, we would probably have a hard time finding, our counterpoint to each other. That's what I call love, like your counterpoint. So what people have to realize, I think, that when like the whole like, for instance, like Kevin Samuels, he was very, very hard. A lot. I think his delivery was really, really jacked up. As far as what a whole lot of his content. Uh, some of the things that he was saying, I believe, but people have to realize as well is that Kevin Samuels was, when he did get mail callers, he was just as hard on the males as he was on the women. It just so happened that he talked to women more. I'm not defending him, but I'm providing the context to say that there were women out there that was actually celebrating his death. Now, I believe in karma. I believe in good karma and bad karma. I'm not going to celebrate anybody's death just because they say things that I think is bashing women. Men, like if a woman goes out there and just simply, like, you got people out there that bash black, you got black women out there that bash black men. Say, I will never deal with a black man. They're trash. They don't know all they do is
say again. That divestment movement.
Right. So I don't live my life hoping that person dies or something happens to them. I tend to stray. If I feel as though something don't pertain to me, people can have their fucked up opinions. But if it doesn't pertain to me, I really don't care about it. So I think a lot of it is, like you said, accountability. I know the fucked up ways about myself. And I think that a lot of people do, men and women, but a lot of them just aren't able to deal with those from an accountability aspect, and they haven't found someone yet that's willing to deal with those imperfections, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so much of social media is, and I guess this goes back to the not accountability thing. So much about social media is ego, like, the likes on pictures, the, how many inboxes you get, and this and this and this, and like to the point where like nobody, people's egos are just so fragile to where they can't be told, well, hey, this, you might not be moving the correct way.
Yeah. Because I know one thing women really hate, especially successful women, if they're like middle-aged, like we all are, that age-old question. I don't even think you got to be middle-aged, even younger. If you're a young successful black woman, what's that one question that men ask that just annoys most single black successful women? Why are you single? And what men have to realize as well is that it's okay to be single if you're a man or a woman. In some way, and I think that it would be easier to express that you're okay being single if you're a woman, if you didn't feel the need to comment on these posts where people are saying, oh, some of these women are going to be single for life and this, that, and the third. I think that you give too much to that toxic type of conversation by buying into that that generalization. Because if it doesn't, I'm one of those, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Like, you have a whole bunch of, if you don't, the whole thing with deadbeats and, thoughts and all that stuff. Like, and if like the single woman thing, like, oh, you're never going to get married. To me, I'm always of the elk. If it doesn't apply to me, I'm going to let it fly by. I don't believe in defending things that doesn't have anything to do with me, especially if it's a generalization. That's true. I think that the need to defend those generalizations is kind of hurting some women, because you first of all, you're going to go out there and defend it. What do people do? They go out there and tag their friends, people that agree with them, that's going to come to their aid, which is, I just think that man or woman, you're acting like a hit dog when you give those things when you give those things air, when you air to breathe. That's what I believe. And men do it too. Men do it too. Like, I mean, you have women out there that'll say, well, some of these dudes want a woman that's submissive to them, and they're not doing anything to that makes them submission worthy. Now, for one, I believe that's very fucking true, because you can't be a motherfucker that's just a nomad, you know, sleeping from place to place, you know, ain't got your shit together. No, and I'm just making an example. You can't be a person that's fucking nomad, don't got your shit together. You don't. I mean, you're not handling your business as a man, and you just can't go out there and say, I want a woman that's gonna do this, that's gonna do this. Motherfucker, what is you gonna do?
Yeah.
And that comes along with that accountability thing and that entitlement, because I mean, everybody feels as though they deserve the very best as far as when it comes to a relationship, but you have to be able to match that energy. And I think that's where a lot of people are missing the mark at.
And a lot of people don't like hearing it. Like my girlfriend, she talks about matching her fly. And like she don't mean, you know, necessarily, you know, always about you know, the way you look and the way you present yourself, although that's a part of it. But what she means is, you know, like, can you match like her effort? Can you match, you know, her, you know, what she brings, and, you know, so on and so forth. And I used to be that hit dog, you know, because I would be, oh, what you mean? And why you with me if you feel this way? And that. I used to be that person. But now, you know, it's like I'm really trying to, you know, because I'm trying to make this a forever thing, you know, so it's about getting beyond that ego so that you can get what you want. Because when I heard them comments, ego said, fuck her. What the fuck is she talking about? You know, you all that and then some, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, then you know, common sense kicks in, and it's like, now you got some work to do.
Yeah. I want to leave this comment up there. This is funny, but this is living off a woman expecting her to be submissive. Now, I think this actually can't, because you have some relationships where the woman is the breadwinner, where the man is kind of like, the woman is kind of the head of the household. She's the earner, but you do have situations where that woman allows that man to be a man, you know, be the protector, take care of the family and things of that nature. Now, like I said, now this is just me. I don't say it's the wrong thing, because I see people where the woman is at the forefront, they're the breadwinner, and it works for them. People got to realize that you can judge all you want, but that works for them. But me personally, I prefer to be the man. I prefer to be the guy that's a protector, that's the breadwinner, that's doing all of those things. That's what I prefer. But whatever works for you. But I mean, you have some men out there that have an unreasonable expectation for that woman to be completely submissive to them, and you know, she's calling the shots. She's the breadwinner and all of those things. Now, I'm not saying that the man can't be the shot caller and not be the breadwinner. I'm just saying that I don't think that I would have the room to be the shot caller if I wasn't. But once again, this is just Stacks. So I don't want to send a message, because you see, I almost walked into it being like a generalization. But I think it's all about what works for that couple. It's never going to be a one size fit all type deal. And I think that's where people need to step back and realize, if you're displaying hit dog tendencies because somebody made a statement that you think pertains to you, take a step back and just think, you know what? This person don't know me. They can't be talking to me. They can't be talking to me in particular. And this is their preference That's the key thing people got to realize.
Yeah.
Because
my dynamic doesn't have to be, my guy's desired dynamic doesn't have to be your desired dynamic, and neither one of us is wrong.
Right. I agree.
So why am I getting angry over your comments when you're talking about your dream life, if our dream lives don't even add up to be the same thing?
Yeah, right. And the thing is, like with Kevin Samuels, like as far as men, Kevin Samuels has a criteria for what he considers a high value man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel as though I'm a high value man, but based on his criteria, I am not. And that's because of I'm not ridiculously overweight, but I could lose some pounds. He one of his criteria is being a fit man and all that stuff. But what I didn't do is I was like, oh, Kevin Samuels, he is full of shit. What the fuck does he know? Blah, 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 blah. It's his opinion. I know how I value. I mean, I don't need anybody to tell me that. So if you know what you are and you know what you bring to the table, stop listening to other people.
So you got the coins. You just all right now.
Well, no, I'm not even just talking about the. I'm not just talking about the coins, but he has. I'm just saying that one criteria I fall short on based on his criteria, and I'm saying this simply because, regardless of his criteria, I feel as though I'm high value because of my my integrity, my value, the way I have taken care of my family, my earning power. Let's just put that in there. I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna big myself up. But people get lost in holding themselves to someone else's standards and someone ideals is what they think a high value man is, and women do it as well, because when somebody gives their criteria on what a submissive woman should be, or what type of woman deserves a high value man, that's where the anger and all that stuff come in. When you miss one, if you miss one or two marks, that's when you're not getting the message. You're not even, the message is going out of the window. All you're hearing is, I don't fit this criteria, so I'm angry. I'm going to do everything in my power to discredit this man because I don't fall into that criteria. What he's saying. Why do you care about his criteria? He's one fucking person. He's one freaking person. So I still don't understand, because what people ended up doing with Kevin Samuels is that
vilified him.
What they ended up doing is making everything he said a massive generalization and applying it to themselves. That's why they were so angry, And a lot of that, it goes back to what you said, though, Nick. It's about accountability. That man said something, and you have some women, some men too, where he struck a nerve with them in particular. And that's when they went on the defensive. And he's one man. He's just everybody. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and so you have men that jump on the bandwagon as far as what he's saying, and they jump off the bandwagon as far as the stuff he's saying that they don't fit the criteria of high value man. And people pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just think that like Nick says, a high value man goes way beyond income. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, we'd be walking around calling people like fucking Trump a high value man. Yeah. Which we know that's just an example. But let me ask you this: how do we reach common ground?
I think you reach common ground, just like you do with any other situation. You shut the fuck up and you really hear what a person is saying. You don't just listen. You really hear what the person is saying. And hopefully you take it a step further and you try to position yourself in that person's shoes. You don't have to agree, but at least position yourself in that other person's shoes, so that you can try to at least see where it is that they're coming from. Because
Agreed.
you can't disagree with what you don't know. And if you're just, if you're just listening, if you hear like one sentence and it's just, you know what I'm saying? You start going off. You really don't even know what you're disagreeing with, because you didn't even give them, the opportunity to talk, and you really didn't even let the shit soak in.
You need to get out of my fucking head. You do this quite often. I was going to say, we need to. There's a tool that is used for active listening. Like if you make a statement, if you make a statement, I repeat it back, just so I have a better understanding before I give my response. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you say all men ain't shit, that's a generalization, right? So naturally, I'm a man. So I'm going to think that, you're saying I ain't shit. You said all, right? But I'm going to take a step back and say, okay, I heard you said all men ain't shit, right? You have a father, you have an uncle, so all them ain't shit either. So, and it's sometimes you got to repeat that back, and maybe you can change that person, because they don't. Nobody means that when they say all women ain't this or all men ain't this. They don't mean that. Those generalizations come from anger and frustration and stuff like that. But don't feed into it by attacking. Like what did Cat Williams say? Maybe it's not. It ain't. Maybe it ain't all men. It ain't shit. Maybe it's something about you and your pussy that attracts ain't shit motherfuckers, which was hilarious. But that's a poor example on how to come back on that, because you're going to get that clap back from some people when they feel like they're being attacked by a generalization, even if it does not pertain to them. If that makes sense, that's what I think. But that's why I love what Sharika said. You got to listen, start listening, and probably active listening. Process what they say before you give a response instead of the clap back, because that's what we do on social media. People ain't really even listening to what you did. They're gonna read what you say, like, all right, I got something for their ass. You're not. That's not why we're having dialogue. That's what we need to stop on social media. We're not having dialogue in order for somebody to one up the other person. We try to do this for understanding. We're trying to do this to come to common ground, because I don't think that humans generally really mean it when they like celebrate somebody's death because of the way they like Rush Limbaugh. I wasn't gonna Rush Limbaugh when he died. I didn't say anything. I thought he was a vile human being, but I don't really believe in celebrating someone's death, regardless of how they live their life. Well, let me see. Dylan Ruth, I'm probably going to celebrate when he dies. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. I think there's always exceptions.
Who's that?
Dylan Ruth.
Oh.
The Charleston shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Buffalo shooter. Probably going to. Well, I'm not going to celebrate, but I'm going to. You remember when Ice-T put on the shades after Nino Brown got shot? And that's going to be my reaction if something. If something, I'm not going to sell. Huh?
I said, so that'll be you.
Yeah, I'm not going to celebrate it, but I'm going to. To me, when Ice-T did that on New Jack City, that was him saying, "Oh, it makes sense." To me, that's what that was. Well, let me look back. We have to talk to each other and not talk at each other. Absolutely, because that's what we do. And in our social circles, Nick, we've been doing that for years. There'll be some battles, people get clicked up, and at the end of the day, nothing is accomplished. Nothing at all. People just got some really good singers and some good damn jokes off on each other. So, anything else you have before we put a nice little bow on this show?
No, I think that you You know, you said what needed to be said.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up and listen.
All right. Well,
Is that what you said?
We went over a lot of stuff tonight. Um, Time goes by when you're having fun, and we almost at the 2 hour mark. Doesn't feel like it, but when you are, doing a pod with one of your longtime friends, somebody that you respect, somebody that you love,
Oh.
it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So don't cry. I have a tendency to, but
Oh, dear.
but yeah, this has been this has been fun, and we went over a lot.
What is going on here?
What do you mean?
I feel like the Boys to Men song is about to play. End of the road. What is going on? It's a bit unusually fluffy for you.
So what do let's go back over all the stuff that we discussed tonight. Okay, so we did talk
Yes.
about Drake album. Hey y'all, let Drake live, y'all. I mean, regardless of what y'all say about his album, he's going to do numbers. I mean, that's just what it is. Same for Beyonce. You can hate on Beyonce, the Bayhive, and all that stuff you want. She's going to do numbers. We talked about Juneteenth. We talked about how we didn't want that fucking ice cream and all that bullshit.
Or the
We talked about P Valley.
salad.
We talked about episodes 1 and 2 of P Valley, and Marvin Tazon, of course, is going to go deep dive into episode 3 tomorrow, so don't miss those brothers of the bar at 8:00. We talked about Father's Day. We talked about Avatar, and we also we talked about the relentlessly gay tenant that got the bread to make her house even more relentlessly gay.
Yeah.
So big ups to her. Once she does that, make sure you share pics, man. I want to see how petty she can get with that.
Yeah.
So and of course we talked about Venus versus Mars and all that good stuff. So what do you got in closing? What's your final parting shots?
Beyonce's new song is dropping in about 2 hours. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I'm looking forward to listening to it and letting it soak in before I get up in the morning, and everybody has an opinion on it. Just like with this Drake album. I saw that, he had dropped the album. I put it on. I like it, and I went on social media and saw a lot of people didn't. I was like, oh. But yeah, that's my big news.
Okay, so
say
in closing,
also, RBG is for Pan-Africanism,
right?
Red, white, and blue with that's not a star. What is that in the middle?
I'm talking about the
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth flag. Let me pull it back up.
It's something like a. Oh, it isn't.
It's a star. It looks like kind of like a symbol for an explosion. Is that an explosion of freedom? Hell, I don't know.
Explosion
I like it though because
it's freedom.
Hey, I just
white people, you could not make that joke.
An explosion of freedom.
An explosion of freedom.
That's all I can think of. What else you got in closing?
Explosion of freedom. I think that's a good way to end.
You like that shit, don't you?
I do. That tickled me. Me.
Well, in closing, a couple of things. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Okay, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes, all the fathers.
Got to mention that.
All the zaddies, because some of y'all got some fine ass fathers.
Calm down now.
That's the way it's supposed to go.
Okay, but Juneteenth. I hope that we can, expand this thing and celebrate it even more, throughout the years. And let's just, I think that once as the years go by, I don't think there'll be any confusion as far as Pan-African, colors and Juneteenth flag. I don't think it's that deep. A lot of people think it is, but hey, it is what it is. I'm going to shoot all the way down to our last topic. I honestly think that there's someone out there in the universe for everyone. So I don't think that anybody should
Very
get caught up in
romantic.
Say again.
That's very romantic.
Yeah. Even the crazies, even the absolutely batshit crazy motherfuckers. There's somebody out there that is willing to put up with your bullshit too. And at the end of the day, I think that love is really, coming together, building and being able to deal with each other's imperfections, because nobody is perfect. You just gotta find that imperfect motherfucker that you can deal with their imperfections,
Yes.
and they can deal with yours, because I'm very imperfect. I don't even see how my wife stayed with me this long, but hey, it is what it is. We've managed those imperfections on both ends, and that's why we're pushing towards 20. So just be very mindful that when you hear these things, these generalizations, they're not talking to you in particular. I mean, I know you may feel it, and if you feel as though they're talking to you in particular, you might want to do a self-assessment, because hit dogs will holler. I believe hit dogs holler. I'm sorry. I believe these things. And
that has been your saying for a
because if somebody feels so strongly about something that a man or a woman says about them, and they feel so strong to get to the point where they're, calling a woman a bitch, calling a man gay, and all type of shit like that, oh, you're hit. I'm sorry. You're fucking hit. So fix yourself. Get yourself right. Or if you can't fix yourself, find you someone that's willing to deal with those fucked up imperfections. There's somebody out there that's willing to do that. And you ain't got to worry about all the other motherfuckers, because you know what? Yeah, I'm this, I'm that, but I got a motherfucker that love me. They know all these things about me. They acknowledge all these things about me, but they still love me. And that's what the fuck it's all about in my book. Crackheads too, yes. Crackheads can't find other crackheads. Believe that. They got them out. Y'all seen Tyrone Bacon and his girlfriend?
And long.
Yeah.
Them crackhead couples, they meet, they get into crack together, they get clean together. Listen, they be in it to win it together. God bless.
So with that being said, before we get up out of here, of course, we got, as I mentioned, we got the Merv and Tazon show coming tomorrow at 8:00. They're going to discuss, episode 3 of Pussy Valley in my Merv voice. They're going to discuss episode 3. Shout out to Merv. They're going to deep dive into that. Check them out, man. They're getting really good engagement, man, and they do a really good job of reviewing P Valley, straight up. So check those brothers out tomorrow. We got the Wednesday pod coming. There's typically trending topics, that's going on in the celebrity world, and among other things. So check out the team that's going to be on there. Yes, Tina, I did say the whole P. And before I forget, Nick, tell these motherfuckers where they can find us.
The Guys Podcast on your Apple Podcast app.
It's on Google. Yeah. You know what? We this is what we need to do, Nick. We have they're on the Android phones too. We don't fuck with Androids. You just happen to have 2 people on here that don't fuck with Androids, right? But that doesn't mean we're generalizing all you motherfuckers that do fuck with Androids. So for that, you can find it on Google Podcasts, any platform that you can get on your fucking Android phone.
Oh, that's right.
You can find that shit. As a matter of fact, I can tell you where the fuck, real quick, before we get the fuck up out of here, because I don't want to leave nobody behind. I'm all about inclusion. Let's see. I think Stitcher is one of them. Let's see. Google Podcasts, we got Stitcher, and we got Apple. So see, I gave y'all 3 fucking options. No problem, Rika. And Rika, thank you for rocking with us. You got Rika, you got Trey, you got Sam. They always rocking with us. Always. And Rika, I love you like a sister, even though you do have an Android. One of my longtime and most dearest friends. You know,
Yes,
so
she
yeah,
remembers your going away party.
she remembers. She remembers everything. That's why I don't think I've done anything fucking suspect around her in life. But if I have, she knows about it. She probably can bribe me. But hey, it is what it is. Rika drove the Rika and Merv drove to my first wedding, which was a wasted trip because the shit didn't last. I wasn't gonna mention that, but anyway, but anyway, yeah, go ahead and check us out on all those platforms as far as
And you people in the group. It's like 1,000 people in the group.
yeah, 1K. Matter of fact, you thousands of motherfuckers, you got 1,000 motherfuckers in the group. Y'all need to start watching this pod now.
That's
Shit.
what I'm talking about.
If you can hop on these posts in the fucking group, you can watch the pod. But I digress. So what I would like to do is give a shout out to everybody out there on Facebook Live, everybody out there on YouTube Live, everybody out there on 1 Mile Hall Radio, amazing listeners out there. Everybody out there on Zingo TV channel 199, Bobby Blackjack come through. And also I forgot to announce that we have our own fucking channel, our own fucking platform. We're gonna put more information out there, but we live on that motherfucker. I'm gonna put the more information out there. There's a channel where you literally, if you love the fucking guys podcast, you can watch that shit all fucking day long. Matter of fact, we'll get somebody to post the information in the group, but we got our own fucking platform. We doing big things. We're going in this fucking second half of fucking 2022, guns a-blazing. We're gonna be hitting y'all across the head with more content. We'll get some new motherfuckers in there because y'all gonna get, damn, the guys got some shit going on every fucking night of the week. That's the direction we going. And we want to bring all of y'all along for the ride. So y'all need to tag all these motherfuckers and let them know that the guys is about to be bigger and better and fresher than ever. And you don't want to miss this ride. You do not want to miss this ride. You're going to be fucking left behind. You're going to be left behind. And I don't know what to tell you, you know? So shout out to Tina B, rocking with us for the longest of time. Back to the days when it was a Merv and Stack show. Tina came on the show, did her thing. We was talking about power. And now she's been a part of the squad for a while now. Because she knew rocking with the best. She part of the best because we all are the best. DJ Khaled. Anyway, let me get the fuck up out of it because now I'm rambling. But I thank everybody. Next, okay, so like I said, okay, so tomorrow we got the Mervyn Tazon show. Wednesday we got the main pod. Next Monday we got Nick and Mark coming back at you. Me and Nick will be back at you the Monday after that. Me and Becca got some shit coming out of the pipe. Y'all ain't know that either. We got some day. Some of us will be doing multiple shit, man. We here. We in here. Y'all get sick of seeing us on the fucking screen. But yeah, I think that's about it. Shout out to everybody that I forgot to mention. Oh, I forgot the street team. That street team general Tazon stand up. Why I ain't mention my man? That guy, the street team general for the longest of time. Hey man, I fucked with you, Tazon, just so you know. But anyway, I think that's it, Nick. We can get on up out of here.
Everybody have a good night. Sweet dreams and all them things.
Peace. And we